Paul. We are so excited to have you here on the Be the One podcast. Thank you for coming.
Thank you for inviting me. Yeah, I'm so happy to be here.
Good. We are too. So you are the director of our fine arts, and we wanted to hear all about the fine arts this year.
Okay.
And everything that's coming up. We're so excited. But before we do that, I want to hear a little bit about you and your story and how you came to Brookstone and all that.
Sure.
Mm-hmm.
My name is Paul Hampton. Mm-hmm. I have been a teacher now for 37 years.
Okay.
My dad was in the military, so we traveled a little bit, and then we ended up in Columbus, Mississippi.
Okay.
That's where I grew up.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And at Columbus Air Force Base.
Okay, yeah.
And when my dad retired, we just stayed in town, and I went to school there.
Okay.
A little bit about me and where I went to college, and before I came to Columbus, Georgia. When I finished high school, I had planned to go to Mississippi State University because that's one of the things everybody in Mississippi did. You either went to Mississippi State or Ole Miss.
Right.
So my plan was to go to Mississippi State. Now, keep in mind, at that point, no one in my family had gone to college, in my immediate family, and very few in the extended family. So my parents didn't really know what to do as far as getting ready for that. So I messed up on some paperwork, wasn't sure how to do everything, and kind of went, I don't know if this is going to work. So I stayed out a year before we invented gap years and just worked and thought, okay, I've got to get this figured out. How do I do Pell Grants and all these things?
It is a lot of work.
It is. So while that was going on, there was a university in Columbus called Mississippi University for Women. And they were traditionally a women's university. Only women could apply and go there. But a court case went through that made them overturn that. And it was just for the nursing program, to overturn for the nursing program. But they decided, we're going to do this for the entire university. We might as well, so we don't get sued again and go through this whole process. So the W said, we're going to open up to men. So I thought, you know what, I got to get started. So I'll just go there to begin with. So I decided to apply. And the great thing was there were scholarships available because of my academics, because I lived in town, because I was a male. So because of all the scholarships, I got to go to Mississippi University for Women that very first year for $50. And I was like, this is good. Plus, the ratio of men to women was 33-1. So for me, that was really good odds. And I thought, okay, well, I'll just do this for a year and then I'll transfer and I'll go to state. And then I just fell in love with the place.
Oh, that's awesome.
I loved the programs that I got involved with, both the math programs and the theater program there. And I loved the teachers, loved the professors.
That's awesome.
Met a lot of really good friends. Met the person who was eventually becoming my wife there.
Yeah.
She was also a student there. And so it just was, you know what? I'm going to just graduate from here. And so my diploma says, or it says Mississippi University for Women. And I'm a proud alumni of the W. So, and to this day, it's still called the W. It's not. They've not changed, even though it's been, close to 40 years. They've not changed the name. They're still talking about changing the name, but who knows?
That's awesome.
So anyway, after that, somebody from Muskogee County came and interviewed teachers. Back then, they would do a lot of recruiting outside of the state, and there would be teacher fairs at colleges. So Dr. Tucker came in and did some interviews, and I went to his booth and talked to him and told him I was doing my student teaching at that point. He said, well, let me know. He said, when will you finish? And I said, in December. And I got a phone call the day that I finished.
Really?
Yeah, I was like, hello? And he offered me a job. So I moved here. Didn't know maybe one family.
Really?
Didn't know anybody except for one family. And found my place and started working in Muskogee County, taught at Spencer High School.
Okay.
for 7 years, and then went to Columbus High School. Taught at Columbus High, taught math, theater, and then eventually became the magnet director for 4 years. And then a friend called and said there was an opening here, and it was getting close to my retirement time. And then came and did a mock lesson.
Yeah.
Fell in love with the place. I just thought this was so different and so unique. And so when it became available, I jumped on it. And the funny thing is, my plan was just to come here for a couple of years and teach my math classes.
Right.
And thought, well, maybe they won't know about what I do, fine arts and theater, because,
maybe we won't know.
I'll just do my math. And then I'll lay low was the idea. Well, I'm not good at laying low, to be honest with you. My wife keeps saying, put your hand down, stop volunteering. And that's just not in my nature. It's like, let me see what I can do.
Right.
So, and Marty was so great. Marty was like, I need to talk to you about becoming the director of fine arts. We've been wanting to start this position. It's been on our plans.
Right.
And we haven't found a good fit.
Right.
And you could do this. And I was like, oh, no, I'm good.
Right.
I'm the department head of math. I'll just do math. And then we talked a little bit more, and he shared some ideas and thoughts. And I was like, this really would be something I've always wanted to do. And it's something I know that I could have an impact in. So, so I said yes. And I've had, I've enjoyed every aspect. I love being able to support the teachers and then providing opportunities for our students, coming up with things that knowing what we do well, and then, coming up with new things and new opportunities.
Right.
So it's been a great thing. And I am so Brookstone blue.
Yay.
Love it. Can't see being
glad.
anywhere else, doing anything else.
Well, we're so glad you're here. And this is your, what year?
Here? It's my seventh.
That's what I was thinking. But how many as fine arts director?
Six.
Okay. So
No,
it was
five.
Okay, five. So it wasn't too long. You were here 2 years.
Right.
We're so glad that you chose to stay here a little bit longer.
Oh, yeah. And I keep telling people, like, well, how much longer do you think you're going to be teaching? I'm like, here at Brookstone, until they tell me I can't.
I know.
Until they say, Paul, it's time. And then I'll go, okay, maybe. But yeah, I just love working with the kids. I love working with the faculty.
Right.
And just the opportunities that we have. So,
And as you know, you cannot keep talents hidden here.
No.
Like they will be found out and
Yes.
will be put to use.
Yes.
It's just no way you can stay in one lane, it seems like.
Agreed. But that's great because I can tell you this: I have never, as a teacher, both in math and in theater, have never felt more supported.
Oh, that's awesome.
At any place I've ever worked than I do here.
That's awesome.
I mean, and I have felt supported in other places and thought, that was it.
Right.
But here, if I just think of something and go, I wish we could. I have so many people going, what would it take to do that?
Really?
What do you need? And that is so exciting. And that is a Brookstone thing. If you have an idea that's going to help our students and help the faculty, then we will find a way, or Brookstone will find a way to make that come true. So that's exciting.
Yeah, it really is. It's wonderful to be here. So, and you're just adding so much. So
Thank you.
Yes, and the fine arts in general. I mean, I just love it. I'm so excited about everything you'll have planned this year.
Well, the great thing is part of my job deals with both curricular and extracurricular.
Right.
So since I've been here, we've been able to add lots of new classes and make some redefining of things that we do well.
Right.
For example, we've started those guitar classes.
Right, yes.
That started with just a few students, and now that's growing. Something that I'm excited to share with people is that the rock band that we started, it's growing so much that they have so many kids in the class. Andrew has started a drum line.
Oh, my goodness.
And on October 13th, the next home game,
yes,
Brookstone would be able to hear our drum line.
Oh, that is
There
so
are
exciting.
12 students involved. They'll be
Yes.
at the football game playing, not marching. It's not a marching band, but they'll sit in the stands in the student sections and help get them motivated.
Paul,
Is that not
cannot
exciting?
tell you how excited that makes me. So we called it a pep band, but we had something like that when I was here in high school. It was amazing. It adds so much. That's going to be incredible.
Yeah, I've had the chance to go in and listen to them practice. They're doing a great job.
Oh.
They're doing a great job, and I think everyone's going to be really excited.
Oh, they're going to love that.
We already have such a strong piano program. Karen does an incredible job teaching them piano, and we all get to enjoy the recitals and the things that they do. So this is another opportunity. We have our guitar class. We have the drum line now. So we're trying to build in those spaces in music that we can. We have, and that music goes from 3K all the way up.
Right.
So I know that Jessica, our new music teacher for lower and intermediate, I went in to talk to her today, and we were talking about what was going on. She said, well, today the intermediate school kids are coming in and we're doing xylophone.
Oh.
So they're playing instruments, and learning how that works. So that part's exciting. In the art world, Gretchen Brain has come in and has done some incredible things. And we've got new classes we're teaching specifically, instead of calling it Art 1 and Art 2.
Right.
We do an Art 1 class for everybody that wants. And then they can take specifically painting or specifically drawing.
Oh, wow.
And we have 2 levels of ceramics, both when it's just working with clay in the sense of just I lost my word.
You mean on the wheel, or working not on the wheel?
Not on the wheel.
Yes, I don't know what the technical term for that is, but not on a throwing wheel.
Well, they've got where they do things by hand.
Okay.
Hand throwing, and then they've got working on the wheel.
Okay.
So, and they do an incredible job with that. And our theater program, we teach classes both in middle school and upper school, both for productions and technical theater.
Yes.
That technical theater class.
My son got to take that last year. I mean, he loved it.
Yes.
I mean, he learned so much.
Yes.
Yeah. So they have a great time in there.
And the fact that those skills that they can then use around the house.
Right. I know.
It's amazing.
This is very helpful.
Yes. Yeah. So all those things are really great skills that we're teaching the kids and great opportunities. So hopefully we'll have more classes. We're looking at other things that our students need or want and be able to provide them for them. So that's part
great.
of the curriculum is really great. And then after school, I'd love to share some of the things that are going on.
Yes, please do.
We are in rehearsals right now for Finding Nemo Jr.
Cannot wait.
It's going to be such a wonderful show.
It's going to be awesome. And that's coming up the 22nd, 23rd, and 24th
that's
of
correct,
September?
of September. The tickets are available now, so please go online and get them. The character breakfast is coming up, where we have little kids come in and they will they'll do some coloring sheets. They'll have breakfast. They'll meet the cast. They'll learn some of the songs.
It's going to be fun. So much fun. And that sold out in less than 24 hours.
Is that not crazy?
It is crazy.
80 seats went just like that.
Oh my gosh.
So we're very excited about that. Yeah. So that show will be fun. So please come and see it. But they're also at the same time working on a high school on their 1-act play competition piece.
Yes.
Keep in mind, since the Davises have come, they've won state 4 times.
4 times.
So
that's incredible.
It's pretty cool.
Yes.
That they have been at that level. So we are looking forward to this year's show, which is called Failure, a Love Story.
Oh,
it's very sweet. It's very fun, very funny, very storytelling, with the ensemble really working well. And some students that have not been involved in theater are involved this year.
Oh, that's
great.
So
it's great to see new faces, and we'll be excited about that.
Because we lost a lot of great seniors last year.
We did.
Yeah.
We did. So,
so fun.
So that'll be great. Then we've got the Schley holiday concert.
Yes.
As always.
My goodness.
That's going to be in
and tell us
December.
a little bit about that, all that involves.
Well, there are two aspects. It's the Schley music, holiday music, and then it's also the art gallery.
Yes.
Art show will be going on. So as far as the music, students from all grade levels. At this point, it's a lot of the middle school things that they've done in class.
Okay. Yes.
Some things from seniors who have worked with Miss Hearn independently will be able to perform. We'll have music, both instrumental and vocal, and predominantly from the Cougar Voices. We've changed the name.
Okay.
So Cougar Voices, which is going to be 3rd, 4th, and 5th grade.
Oh, that's good.
Jessica Knight is working with those students, and they'll be singing and performing and playing instruments as well. So it's a great time. If you've ever been, you know it's just this warm, great way to kind of kick off before the holiday starts, before we all go on holiday break.
Right.
The art teachers will have the gallery set up with student work. So a great way to explore and to really just enjoy the artwork and the music.
Showcase our students.
Yeah.
They're just amazing.
Yeah.
And it's really amazing to me, and you get to kind of see it there, how our teachers are able to take students at all levels.
Right.
It blows my mind how they can take a beginner and teach them so much in such a short period of time.
That's right. And really can, as well as the guitar, the high school kids will perform too. Like the guitar kids will be performing.
That's great.
I really love the fact that our teachers will take whatever level comes to them and figure out a way to help them improve.
Right.
A big part of what we do vision-wise is to create that artist in each student and for them to be able to develop and identify the artist within them.
Right.
So giving them those opportunities is a big part of it.
I love it.
So then in the spring, we have two big events. We have the musical, and this year we're very excited. The upper school will be doing Disney's High School Musical.
Woo-hoo!
So we're all in this together. We'll all be doing that dance. So many people remember watching that show.
Yeah.
Watching that movie.
My goodness, yes.
And
that's so fun.
So it'll be a lot of fun.
Yeah.
We're looking forward to that. And then the Spring Arts Festival,
which is like my favorite week of the whole year.
And that has been such a fun thing to do here at Brookstone. You know, we had something where it was just a one-day event that we were calling Spring Arts. Seal Bone and I talked, and she said, wouldn't it be great if we could do more? And we started talking about ideas, and then it grew from what if we did a 2-day? What if we did a week?
Right.
And now there are so many things that have been added. The AP Art History. Well, not art history, AP Studio Art. They'll be doing their presentations the Sunday before. They'll have a gallery showing. So it starts off a little earlier, and now we're ending with the latest thing that we've added, which is the dinner theater.
Oh, yes.
So
that's all that week. I forgot. Yes, that capped it off.
Yes. So we start off with our students doing their AP Studio artwork. We celebrate the arts all week, including the big picnic.
Yes.
We'll be bringing back Mr. Stubbs' band, rock band.
That is so fun.
So they are excited to come back, and we'll be able to sit out on in the quad and bring all the different grade levels and eat lunch.
And just have music on the quad.
Is that not great?
It is so much fun. It's like a college campus, and just hearing the music all over campus, and just seeing the kids out there enjoying it.
Well, and when the little kids see their seniors pairs and they run and they start dancing with them, I thought my heart was going to jump out of my skin.
In the world. It was like, so authentic. It is so adorable when they see those.
And those
kids.
Seniors, and seniors sometimes. They're going to be cool. But when they see their kids and their kids are running to them,
sweet.
They just zoom right in, get down on their level.
I know. They're like tackled by them. Oh, it's the cutest thing.
It's so exciting. It's a wonderful relationship building opportunity. And so, really for them to see the support. That they get from the seniors. So that's going to be exciting. The dinner theater is going to have more students involved this time. It's a hilarious show that will both have teachers and students in it.
Oh, that is great.
It's a great way to support the Arts Alliance. And the Arts Alliance
Tell us a little bit about that. Yeah.
The Arts Alliance is part of the BPA.
Yes.
And their specific task is to help all of the arts as far as helping raise money and getting volunteers so that all these extra things that we want to do, that there's ways of supporting it.
Right.
So those dinner theater funds go through the Arts Alliance, and they help us so that students that want to participate in, especially in theater activities, those fees that we would normally charge for like costumes and meals and providing things for them, that will help offset those costs. So that that doesn't become a prevention from any student from being able to participate. So we're excited. We did really well last year, and it's really helped us keep those costs down for students so that they can participate. And I know that helps out all families. So we're excited for that. Last year, was the first year we did it, and it went over really well. The people that got to go, we did it at the Bo Bartlett Center, and Bo Bartlett was actually there, and we got him on stage and participated.
That's so great,
which was fun. So this will be a little bit different. It's kind of got the feel of a talent show, a school talent show.
Okay,
and then something happens, dun dun dun, and then it becomes this murder mystery aspect. So that will be fun.
Oh, I cannot wait.
So that, and then hopefully, we've got some trips coming up for students. Right now we're working on our New York trip.
Oh, yeah.
So students that want to go to New York, we've got lots of things planned for those students. We're going to go see 3 shows.
Oh, that's awesome.
Do a lot of sightseeing, go to some museums. So we're excited about that opportunity. Well, hopefully we'll be looking at going back to Edinburgh for this Fringe Festival.
Is that possibly in 2024?
That's right.
Okay.
We're looking at it for, it won't be for, no, it'll probably be 25.
25, yes. Okay, yeah.
Because it takes a little while to get everything ready and going.
Right. Tell us a little, I know we've talked about that before, but share again for those that might be new.
Not this summer, but the last summer, we went to the International Fringe Festival in Edinburgh. Such a wonderful opportunity. Our students got to perform on stage with people from all over the world, not just our nation, but all over the world.
That's so
they
cool.
got to see shows from all sorts from different countries and high schools, colleges.
That's incredible.
And had that opportunity to be a part of the world's largest festival.
And that's a select invitation, is it not?
You have to be invited.
Yes. Wow.
Mr. Davis has taken students before, and so he went through the process and applied, and because they know the Davises and the Davises work, it was a quick yes.
Oh, that's great.
A quick invitation was sent, and he was he was very excited about it. We did a fun musical, How to Eat Like a Child, and then got to explore the Scotland and England. We stayed in London for a couple of days. So it's great and a learning opportunity. And of course, when we go, we do as much teaching as we can. And so so much sightseeing, so much history.
Oh, yes.
That Mr. Davis, who also has a background in history, has a degree in history as well.
I didn't know that.
Yes.
My goodness.
I mean, the man can teach anything.
Y'all are Renaissance men.
Yeah.
Truly.
And so every time we'd go somewhere, he would start talking about what happened at this castle and why this is important. And it was just mesmerizing everywhere we went. So hopefully that opportunity will come up again.
Oh, I hope so. That is so fun. I mean, it's truly a trip of a lifetime.
Yeah.
And I'm sure our students will never forget that.
They won't. And we've got great pictures. We went to what's called Author's Seat, which they said it was a little hill. I'm telling you, it's no little hill. That was the last one.
There's some hills in Scotland.
Ooh.
Yes.
Never felt so old. The kids were running up this mountain. And I keep going, I'm going to make it. I'm the little engine that could. So by the time I get up there, they're already down the other side and they're waving at me. And I'm like, be there in a minute. And then started going down. But those experiences, really being able to spend time with the students and make those kind of connections.
Right.
It's just incredible.
That's awesome. Yeah, that's one thing I love about Brookstone is the ability to get to know your students in the classroom, but then outside the classroom and even, outside of school.
That's
It's a real unique opportunity. And
those relationships are so important.
They just mean everything. I mean, they really do. So, that's so exciting. Okay, so before we wrap up all things fine arts, I want to hear. I always like to ask my guests questions about the books that they have read that might have had the most impact, or book that might have had the most impact on them, or just one you really like. Okay. So I love to share that because I learn so much from our guests that way.
And this is kind of funny because this is I like a lot of science fiction. And have my degree in mathematics as well. Yes. And so there is a book called Flatland.
Okay, I've not heard of that one.
Written by Edwin Abbott back in 1886. Okay. It's a novella, a romantic novella, but it's a math book.
Interesting.
About all of these two-dimensional figures that live in a two-dimensional world that all of a sudden a third-dimensional figure comes in. But it is an incredible, it's a very short read, but a very interesting concept about class.
Oh, yeah.
And the difference between the shapes and what their characteristics are.
Okay.
So, I know it sounds weird, but from a science fiction standpoint, it was like, okay, this is cool.
That's so neat.
And it talks about why, certain characters are lines, or the difference between a straight line and a curved line and why, or a triangle and a square, and how they relate to each other. And I would read that book, and I used to teach that book. I used to have students, honor students, and I would read it. And then kind of forgot about it because in public school at one point we had to really focus on testing, and another great reason to be at Brookstone and be able to teach for the love of teaching.
Yeah.
But I had a student that I taught who is now a doctor here in town, and I saw him and he said, I still remember that book.
Really?
And I was like, well, that is so cool. So when you asked me about books, I was thinking, that is a book that had a big impact on me and has had an impact on others. Very interesting. That. Like I said, 1884 or 86.
And you do not often associate science fiction with the 1800s.
That's right.
That's very interesting.
Right. And it's published as a romantic novella because there is a story to it. Yeah. So it's so that part is really cool.
Yeah, that's awesome. All right. So going back to math, I'm throwing a question in there. What's your favorite math to teach?
I have two, and luckily right now I'm teaching my favorite, which is geometry. I love geometry.
Really?
And I also, for the longest, I taught pre-calculus. I love getting students ready for that AP calculus, whether it's AB or BC. I love being able to take difficult concepts and explaining it in such a way that makes sense to them. Because if we can teach them how to think, and both of those subjects for me, is a lot of teaching students how to think, not just do, but why.
Right.
Things like proofs, and in pre-calculus you do identities and trig, and having to say this is what I know and this is how I know it. So by getting kids, trying to teach students how to think, to me is very difficult, but I love doing that aspect of it. So that's why I love geometry.
That's awesome. I would have very much enjoyed your classes. I have no doubt. I was not a math person, but the way you guys teach math here, I think lends to a love of it, if you will, even though it's difficult for some. But like you said, understanding the concepts behind it, I think we do a good job here.
Well, and a number of times I've had to explain to people how do I do both, theater and art and math.
Right, because those can be very different quadrants of the brain, if you will.
It's like, left brain, right brain kind of approach. And it's like, and having a little of both, not all on one, which sometimes is maybe better, but having both aspects of it. So many times when I'm teaching geometry or teaching math, different characters will come out. I'll just start talking or something will pop in my mind about a theater piece or a movie or something, and I'll start quoting, and kids will just look at me like, what? And it's like, oh, sorry. So let's get back to this. So I think that helps keeping them focused as well.
Keep them engaged,
Yeah.
for sure. Okay, so what about advice? What is some of the best advice you've been given or something that has just stuck with you?
One thing that that really stuck with me a few years, well, maybe about 20, 25 years ago, after having issues as far as at work and dealing with my parents passing away. There were a lot of things going on that I just felt a lot of stress. And I was trying to figure out, as many young adults, newly married, like, what am I going to, what's happening in this world? And I just would get so stressed about things. And in a workshop I was at, it was explained, it's like, well, as you worry about things, think about how is that worry going to affect you tomorrow? And how is that going to affect you next week?
Yeah.
Think about it in terms of next month. What about a year from now? Is it really something that you need to be this worked up about?
Right.
Or is it going to be something that you just need to deal with?
Right.
And when I started thinking in terms of, okay, how is this really going to affect my life next week, next month? It put things in perspective.
Right.
And so I still go back to that, I still go back to my faith knowing that nothing's going to be put in front of me that we can't handle. And so that idea of having faith in a God that I know that will make sure I can't, anything in front of me I'll be able to handle, and that all things will be taken care of, made me realize I need to live for now. I worry about what you need to, but also it doesn't need to be crippling.
Right.
And so that advice of how to deal with that kind of stress has helped in so many things.
That's awesome. That's awesome. And I love that you can share that perspective to
Yes.
our students, because I think a lot of them are dealing with that. It can be crippling. So
Yes.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So many times I'll go, okay, in the big scheme of things, y'all.
Right.
So you didn't do well on this.
Right.
It's not the end of the world. We've got plenty of time to work on that.
Right.
Think about what's important to you.
Right.
And let's focus there.
Right.
It'll be okay. It'll be good. So many times I'll go, don't worry about it. It's all right. We'll take care of it. And I've loved that. And I've been able to really embrace that more and more, especially here at Brookstone. It's like, let's think about other things. Let's think about the big picture, not did you get this assignment down right? So you struggled.
Right.
Let's figure out a way to fix it.
Right.
And we'll take our time, and we'll come back to it when we need to. So
I think that's awesome. Well, thank you so much for being here.
Oh, thank you.
I thank you for what you do, because like I said, it just what it adds to this school and this amazing team of faculty that you have working with you in the fine arts. I'm so grateful for each one of y'all.
I cannot tell you enough of how incredible the faculty members and the people that we've brought on board and the things that they provide for the students. It's just, they're just a joy to work with, and I love supporting them.
Oh, that's awesome. Well, we're excited about this year, and we cannot wait. Finding Nemo, 2 weeks from now.
Get your tickets.
Get your tickets.
Let me know if you have questions. Feel free to contact me.
There you go. All right. Thank you so much for being here.